Hello, I'm Larry Formato, and welcome to Connected. I'm here with my sidekick and good buddy Willie Fats, pumping those guns there, and
Trademark. Gotta have a trademark. See, you need to get one.
I got guns, buddy, better than yours.
Hey, mine are good. Mine are better than Machine Gun Kelly's. At least I hit something.
So that's true. So Willie, we're back with our fun facts of American gangsters, and we're going to be talking about Tony Provenzano today.
Interesting.
Yeah. So now this is a guy that most people pretty much forgot about. He's a forgotten mafioso, and Tony pretty much came from the Lower East Side of Manhattan. And he was born in before 1920, 1917 he was born.
Wow.
Yeah, and he was going to school, and his family was dead broke, so like a lot of people back then.
Right.
He quit school and took a job as a truck driver, Willie.
Truck driver.
$10 a week.
You know, $10 a week, you laugh at it now because you're like, but back then, I mean, that was probably pretty good.
Wasn't bad.
Yeah.
A lot of hours, but
Yeah.
it wasn't bad. But you know what else it did for him? It was his stepping stone to the Teamsters union. And, you know, he stayed with that union pretty much his whole life. And, but, you know, the other thing that he did, Willie, you know, he was an athlete.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people, you know, encouraged him to go pro as a boxer.
Wow.
So, you know, he was a pretty tough guy, tough kid.
So he could have went on the narrow way of being a pro boxer and probably been a decent guy.
Yeah.
Instead, he turned to crime.
He turned to crime, and he worked his way up through the union. You know, he went from a truck driver, became a shop steward, and he kept going up and up and up from that. But you know what else he went up and up in?
What's that?
Organized crime.
Mm.
He became a member of the Genovese crime family.
Wow.
And, you know, showing that he was a tough guy and could live up to a reputation of violence. You know, he didn't stand for any bullshit, folks.
Wow.
So Tony Provenzano, you know, he lived up to his name. And living up to his name, he had a guy that was the secretary and treasurer of that the local 560, and that was in New Jersey.
Right.
And the guy's name was Anthony Castellito. Anthony Castellito. And so Tony Pro, he wasn't the kind of guy to have people go against him.
No.
Not even a little bit. So, and it kind of reminds me of Al Capone in that manner, right?
Right.
Capone never let anybody, you know,
Get over on
him. And so Tony Provenzano was kind of the same way. So what did he do? He got a couple of his crew, a couple of guys from his crew, and they kidnapped this guy Castellito, and they killed him.
Mm.
And I don't know what they did with his body. They chopped it up, they buried it in the field somewhere. Whatever they did, his body was never ever to be found, ever. And
you think that that's kind of the way it was back in the teens, 20s, and 30s? Like, you wonder how many bodies were really just never found. I bet that number is so large, you know, back in the teen, 20, and 30s. You know,
I'm pretty sure the Harlem River had a lot of bodies floating in it back then.
I'm pretty sure.
They didn't get the name Cement Shoes from just no place.
If you could take the water out of all the lakes,
Yeah.
there'd be a lot of bones. What do you think?
Like I said, you know, cement shoes go a long way.
Right.
They go a long way down, right?
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So Provenzano's violent ways, you know, had a way of catching up to him. And so he finally got convicted for extortion.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and he went to jail for 7 years for extortion. And, you know, him and Jimmy Hoffa were friends at the time. Jimmy Hoffa was the head of the unions.
Right.
Of the Teamsters union. And so while they were in jail, they kind of had a falling out.
Mm-hmm.
And Provenzano and Jimmy Hoffa never had a good relationship. from then on.
Right.
And
Now,
Jimmy-
was Hoffa, do you think, was he linked to anything back then? I know we're going to talk about him in another episode, but was he linked to any type of mafia organizations back then? Do you know?
Well, yeah, I mean, he was linked to Provenzano. They were
With the gin
they were like this, and Hoffa would turn a blind eye.
Oh.
Provenzano would raid the union's funds,
Mm.
and Hoffa would just
Kind of turn his way.
like I said, yeah, turn a blind eye to it. And,
But he got paid, though, to turn that blind eye.
well, of course he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
So Jimmy Hoffa, again, like I said, folks, we're gonna have a show on Jimmy Hoffa. That's a must, because you know why? He was pardoned by Richard Nixon
Oh,
while he was in jail.
wow.
Richard Nixon pardoned him, folks. And hey, Willie, you know who else? Since we're talking about this, we're kind of getting away from Tony Provenzano just for a half a second. You know who else Richard Nixon pardoned? Another gangster. You know who it was?
No.
Give you a hint. He was in my book.
Oh. Chip.
Gyp DeCarlo.
Yeah.
So Gyp DeCarlo was also pardoned by Richard Nixon. So we got Jimmy Hoffa, a known, well, he was the president of the union, but also a known organized crime associate.
Right.
And Gyp DeCarlo, a boss of the Genovese crime family, were both pardoned by Richard Nixon. So that's going to be interesting. We're going to do both those guys, Willie.
Now, your guy, he was actually one of the bosses. Like he was the made man of the wise guy.
Yeah, he was a captain in the Genovese crime family and a boss.
Before Red or after Red?
No, he was with Red, and he was the boss. He was the captain.
And Red was.
Red at the time was a soldier. Yeah.
Oh, I got you.
All right. So, and if you want to read about these guys, go to www.whitecollarpress.com and buy Connected by Larry Fermato. You're really going to enjoy the book. There's a lot of good pictures in the book, and it talks about the wise guys. It talks about the stock market, and
Awesome book. Awesome book.
Thanks. And we think you're going to like that book. So, getting back to Tony Provenzano. So, Jimmy Hoffa got pardoned by Richard Nixon. But ironically, when Tony Pro got out of jail, he was actually playing golf with Richard Nixon, the guy that pardoned Jimmy Hoffa, in a tournament out in California.
Makes you wonder.
Makes you wonder. So did he get
Pardoned just so that.
Jimmy Hoffa pardoned just so that, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of crazy how that worked out,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So
I mean, listen, just because you're the president of the United States, do you imagine, and I know you coming up in the crime world, you probably already know, but you can't tell me that every dang president down the line wasn't involved in some kind of organized crime.
well, we know Kennedy, and the rumors had that organized crime is responsible for the assassination of Kennedy.
Yeah.
Just one of those theories.
People.
But,
So I can't sit here and say Nixon. You never know. Nixon could have said, "Okay, pay me this, and I'll pardon him."
Yeah. So Provenzano eventually got control back of the local 560 in Union City, New Jersey, and he and Hoffa were always at each other's throats. And so in 1975. Provenzano arranged a meeting with Hoffa, and Hoffa was driving to meet Provenzano in Ohio.
And never made it there. Let me guess.
He never made it there, and that was the last time anyone saw or heard from Jimmy Hoffa. And
let me guess, the body was never found.
And his body, of course, you don't have to guess it. Everybody knows it. Where's Jimmy? Was all the signs on trucks all across America.
Right.
Where's Jimmy? And so, of course, Jimmy Hoffa disappeared, and a lot of people had him buried under home plate in Yankee Stadium when they built the stadium. And some people said he was at Giant Stadium and down by the head posts or whatever they call it.
I saw him a couple weeks ago at Walmart, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Some people saw him playing dice with Elvis at Caesars. I don't
I don't know.
So anyway, but if you know where Jimmy Hoffa is, what do you got to do?
Hey, hit us up with an email. connected@larry@gmail.com.
Connected with Larry@gmail.com.
Yep.
And you will give us some insight
On where you see.
Yeah, and the other thing they can do too, if you guys have any questions, or you want to know something and you want to video it, go ahead and video your question, email it to us, and we'll go ahead and get you on our show.
Absolutely.
So and that's connectedwithlarry@gmail.com, or give us a call at
941-244-2392.
Yeah, and what else they want to do? What else?
Make sure you elbow drop that like button, smash the subscribe button, and don't forget to turn on your notifications, because you don't want to miss another episode, especially when we talk about Hoffa.
Yeah, so Provenzano, was convicted in 1978 of loan sharking, and when that trial was over, they took him back on a different trial. A couple guys had flipped, and the Castellito murder was brought up.
Oh, wow.
And he finally, 10 years later, got convicted of that murder. Even though they never had a body, they convicted Tony Pro of that murder. So, and he went to jail for that, and then he was sent to Longpont District Hospital in California.
Wow.
And he died there, and that's where he died.
Yeah. Man.
And yeah, he died there while he was serving that sentence for extortion.
I could see why a lot of people don't recognize him. You know what I'm saying? But I can see why he's forgotten.
He's forgotten, and he was the nexus. He was the go-between between the unions and organized crime. And in the 50s and 60s and 70s, Tony Provenzano, he was the key guy between the Genovese crime family and the Teamsters Union.
Mm-hmm.
And, like I said, he's long forgotten. But, most remembered for a crime that no one has ever been able to prove.
Right.
Most remembered for the disappearance and murder of Jimmy Hoffa. And like most American mobsters, Tony Provenzano died in jail. And,
I mean, when you live that life, you got two ways to go with that life. Dead or dead.
Dead or dead.
Dead or dead.
Getting murdered or dying in jail.
Yeah.
Some die of natural causes, but
others die of,
not many.
We ain't gonna admit to nothing.
Not many.
Not many.
So Willie, we're gonna be doing Jimmy Hoffa.
Oh, absolutely.
And we're gonna be doing Jim DiCarlo, and man, that's gonna be such a fun show.
Yeah.
And
now, Jim, he ain't alive, right? Is he passed on?
No, he's passed on a long time ago.
Long time ago.
But if you folks ever seen the movie Jersey Boys, or you saw the Broadway show, Jim DiCarlo was the boss that these guys reported to in that movie, our Broadway show. So, that's worth mentioning. It's a great movie. Clint Eastwood directed it. And so, and talking about Clint Eastwood, if you want to know more about Clint Eastwood as well, other than what you already know, I'll tell you some things you don't know. And the way you're going to find that out is you're going to go to www.whitecollarpress.com, and you're going to buy the book Connected by Larry Formato. Read about Clint Eastwood, read about Jim DiCarlo, and some of these other colorful figures. And it's really something to look forward to, I think. And I want everyone that watches this show to go out and buy that book.
And Clint, if you're watching, you gotta come on our show.
And talk to Willie Fats about it.
Yeah.
And Willie, what do we tell everybody?
Hey, we'll tell you one more time. Don't forget to hit the like, subscribe, turn on your notifications, because you don't want to miss an episode. As he just said, we got those two coming down the pipeline. It's gonna be awesome. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting. And we got a lot of other good things to talk about as well, which we'll kind of bring in, into focus with you guys as we do our shows. And, fun facts with American Gangsters. And that's the road we're going down. And it's kind of fun traveling it.
After our last episode with Machine Gun Kelly, I could rob a bank. I've got it planned out. I need your help, though.
I'm not helping you rob a bank, Willie.
I got it
tell you
all
what
on.
you do it, and then send me letters from whatever jail they put you in, and
But
I'll send you commissary.
But no. If I rob this bank,
yeah,
would I be talked about 40 or 50 years from now? I want to be talked about 40 or 50 years from
I
now.
don't know about 40 or 50 years from now, but I guarantee you.
I mean, we're talking about
40
these guys.
45 days from now, I might talk about you on the show.
Yeah.
You know, we'll remember you for sure, but
no.
you're not getting me in some conspiracy to rob a bank.
I want to be talked about 40 years from now as the 21st century gangster.
What do you think, folks? Write us.
Yes.
Make a video.
Tell us what you think I could do now that would get me talked about 50 years from now and become the 21st century gangster.
You're whacked, man.
Hey, I'd like to see what the comments are going to be about. Nothing crazy.
I don't know what to say to that, folks. I mean, I'm at a loss for that. But listen, do one thing for me. Come back and visit us. Maybe we'll find out more about what this crazy nut job to my left wants to do here. And you stay right here with us if you want to be connected.